and we should be good to go in a moment. I think we are fine. Okay, fantastic. A very warm welcome to all the healthcare leaders, investors, and innovation experts joining us today to witness breakthrough solutions that aim to make healthcare affordable, accessible, and efficient for billions worldwide. This is Pankaj Gupta, founder and managing partner at EthAum's. We are a zero BS revenue scaler headquartered in Singapore with approximately 120 global startups in our portfolio. Today, you are going to witness some transformative startup disrupting critical areas such as clinical trials, chronic disease management, hospital operations, ophthalmology, femtech, and surgical automation that we onboarded for our healthcare revenue scaler program started in February this year. During the program, startups obviously connected with various subject matter experts, prospective customers, and GTM partners to create efficient scaling operations. When you have impressive line of startups, you also need to have an equally impressive jury. We are privileged to have seasoned experts from the investment and healthcare sectors joining us today. They will evaluate startup pitches, share feedback, and offer guidance to the founders. Jury members, I will request you to briefly introduce yourself, probably 30 seconds each. If I may start with Hugo's first. Hugo's, please.
Hello, so I'm Hugues Allo. Thank you for having me here. I'm a director at Midrace. I support startups in terms of growth and fundraising coaching. I also support family office in the creation and the operation of their ventures. My background is in venture capital for family office, incubation hub, and management consultant for the corporation across the world.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Hugh. Really appreciate your time today. May I request Ido to go next, please? Ido?
Sure. I'm Ido Sareg. I was formerly the managing director of the Alchemist Accelerators Hub in Memphis, where I coached and mentored startups for many years. I'm now doing this individually, in addition to my role at the University of Memphis's Technology Transfer Office, where I work with a lot of healthcare and life sciences faculty members on commercializing their research. I was previously a venture capitalist with Thomas Weisel Venture Partners, an early stage firm focused on probably A to B stage companies across all segments.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Ido, for joining us today. May I request Dr. Asif Ghani to go next, please?
Hey, hi, good evening. My name is Asif. Sorry, my throat is bad a bit today. But anyways, I am basically a pediatric orthosurgeon and I'm based in Dubai. I have worked in various healthcare groups as CEO, regional director, and group director for big brands like Burjeel Holdings, Aster, and Emirates Hospitals. I have got my own company which is called Safe for Sure, which is into digital health and mental well-being. And I also have another company which is into ASL translation. I also support startups right from idea to innovation to implementation to GTM and everything in between.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Ghani. Appreciate your time today. May I request David to go next, please? David Apple.
Hi, everybody. David Apple. I'm based in San Francisco, in California. And my background is initially not in bio. I'm a mechanical engineer with an MBA. I worked in the software world for most of my career, notably early at Notion, at Typeform, if you're familiar with those kind of household names in tech. My career pivoted to bio when my son was diagnosed with a rare genetic disease called Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease type 1A, or CMT1A. And I sit on the board of the largest nonprofit in the CMT space. I started my own biotech called Shark Tooth Biotech to develop a treatment for CMT1A, where I'm pursuing siRNA on one side and AI-driven drug repurposing on the other side. And I work with three VC funds. I'm a venture partner with Headline, and I advise both Sequoia Capital and First Round Capital and help portfolio companies. Nice to meet you all. Excited to be here today.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, David. Appreciate your time today. Dr. Mehul, please go next.
I'm Dr. Patel. I'm based out in New York City. I'm a physician by trade. I founded 3 startups. One had a successful exit. Second one didn't work out. And third one currently we're hitting the ground running. Graduated from 2 VC fellow programs, 1752 Pegasus. I'm a scout for them. Currently a venture resident with Progressive Ventures based out in Silicon Valley. I advise multiple startups as well. And I'm also part of the Crimson Founders Circle. One thing I've found, there's no real way to score it, but founder grit, I think, has been through about 500 plus deals that I've scouted, has been the factor that really stands out that leads to success. So I'm excited that Pankaj had me on, and some of the startups I've seen, actually all are fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Patel. Appreciate your time today. Alejandro, could you please go next?
Of course, hello everyone. Thanks for inviting me. I'm Alessandro Marian Antoni from Los Angeles, originally from Italy. I've been living here in LA for 25 years. I ran Accelerator, one of the longest running accelerator programs in town. We work with a lot of course US companies, but international startups as well that are expanding in the US market. Being one of the longest running, we had 13 exits and 2 IPOs, and we also renovated our programs continuously, pressure testing ideas from founders in our cohorts. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Alessandro. Cody, could you please go next?
I'm Cody Smith, an investor with UFP Ventures out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I began as an operator building out organic corporate spinouts, and now sit in a VC role where I support early stage startups through investment and operational support, and more importantly, incubation. You tend to look past the technology in most cases, and really, I believe that there has to be a true solution for the work we're seeing in the real world. We need to be able to answer things like who adopts it and who pays for it, and really does it make a difference. I truly believe that healthcare rewards the founders who can answer those questions, and I'm excited to join here and see how these teams are doing that.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Cody. Appreciate that. Oren, could you please go next quickly?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. I am Arain. I am one of the investors at TFT Ventures. I started out my career as a founder. I co-founded 4 startups and have 3 exits and 1 still ongoing at the moment. I like to keep my hands being a founder still because it gives me perspective from the battlefield. I'm just excited to be here, hear what the founders have to say, and provide the best input I possibly can.
Thank you, Oren. Amit, please, quickly.
Hey, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Thank you for inviting me today. So I'm based in Berlin, currently working for Natera Ventures. We are a 100 million fund investing in early stage startups in mobility and healthcare. I've been a serial entrepreneur and have been in investment domain expert for Natera Ventures for almost 5 years now. Pretty happy to be here and looking forward to the startups.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Amit. Tanya, could you please go next? So you're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Tanya. I'm a venture partner with Level Up Ventures, and also I have my own venture capital company and advisory firm called StartLink Venture. I help startups to fundraise and funds to fundraise, and I'm an investor myself, mainly in the deep tech, climate tech, and Web3 space. And I'm an ex-investment banker. Very happy to be here. Thank you so much for invitation.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, all the jury members. Really appreciate your time today. As you know from the past conversations and past sessions, we'll be pitching startups for 4 minutes duration, and then you will take probably 1 or 2 questions, and founders will try to answer your questions within that 1 or 2 minutes. But if not, then please feel free to use chat section so that founders can respond to you in the chat section. Now it's time to do a deep dive into these startup solutions and see how these solutions are shaping the future of healthcare innovation. We'll start our very first presentation with Markable, which offers a hormonal insight tracker for women's health. And you'll have to give me a few moments before I start the presentation. Okay, here we go.
Picture this. You're in your mid-30s, sharp, ambitious, at the top of your game, absolutely crushing it at work. You're the go-to guy that everyone relies on. Then, one day, you wake up feeling off. You walk into the boardroom that you used to own, and suddenly you second-guess yourself. You feel like your edge is gone. Your heart starts racing out of nowhere. You go to the doctor. Labs are fine. A cardiologist finds nothing. Still writes you beta blockers, just in case. A third doctor would say, this is simply aging. That is not a man's story. That is perimenopause. Perimenopause is a highly volatile transition lasting up to 15 years with a median of 23 symptoms out of a possible 100, and it can start as early as at age 35. And still, the medical system managed this entire decade with short visits and single blood tests that look perfectly normal while women are actually going through a physiological storm. Over the last 24 months, this market exploded. Celebrities broke the taboo, pharma launched billion-dollar drugs, and employers are paying. BCG projects $40 billion by 2030. And still, only 5% of women receive the one proven treatment. Hormone replacement therapy not only relieves symptoms, but dramatically cuts the future risk for heart disease, osteoporosis, and Alzheimer's. And from the few women who actually start HRT, nearly half of them will quit within a year. Why do they quit? Because doctors are working blind. Standard labs swing wildly within the same 24 hours, and 80% of OBGYN residency actually skip menopause entirely. Without a baseline, treatment side effects often hit before the relief, so women lose trust and abandon the only therapy proven to protect them. Blood pressure has a cuff. Diabetes has hemoglobin A1C. And menopause just have the question, how do you feel? This is why we built Markable. Using a standard smartphone, our 7-minute test captures 5 signal layers that no lab can read. Facial patterns, hearing, vision, cognition, and structured symptoms mapping. Our patent-pending fusion model will translate those signals into one structured hormonal profile. And intake establishes a baseline. Continuous monitoring shows what changed. Providers get objective data, and women sees their progress, giving them a reason to actually stay in the treatment. And the data is clear. Across the 254 women we profiled, our validation subset reached an AUC of 0.87, successfully separating perimenopausal from non-perimenopausal women just using our test, and with age being insignificant. To build this, our team brings together 5 disciplines. I'm Revital, the co-founder and CEO. I bring 15 years of commercial execution and brand leadership at global corporates like Unilever and Kimberly-Clark. Dunning, our CPO, holds a PhD in medical science and brings a decade of health tech experience to drive our product logic. Our CTO, Michael Aluz, brings 15 years of leading teams in building high-scale, secure SaaS architecture. Our AI advisor, Shachal Fleischman, PhD, is a computer vision and deep learning expert with over 5,000 citations. As an ex-Amazon applied scientist and CTO of a deep learning startup acquired by Intel, he led the design of our visual AI engine. And our medical strategy is led by Dr. Oran Gold in OBGYN and Women's Health Department head at Clalit, keeping us grounded in real clinical needs. And the clinical execution is already underway. A health plan with 2.7 million members is advancing with us to clinical validation, while Israel's largest supplement company is exploring integration. Our vision is to become the standard screening test for every woman from age 35 and ultimately the engine that personalizes her hormonal therapy. From there, we will expand to manage autoimmune disease, osteoporosis, and other medical conditions deeply rooted in hormonal balances. The data set that we're willing to support this is truly unique and doesn't exist anywhere else. Together, we're raising $1.5 million on a SAFE. This round will fund the HMO clinical validation, expand our dataset to 500 longitudinal profiles, and position us for the seed round with prospective clinical proof. We built the product, filed the patent, and have brought a 2.7 million HMO to the table without raising a single dollar. Just imagine what we can do with yours. Look forward to taking your questions and seeing you later on the one-to-ones. Thank you.
Fantastic. We have Revital on the call to answer questions. Tanya, please go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for presentation. I have a question. If I get the data from you, so what am I supposed to do with that? Do I bring it to my doctor? Do you propose me certain supplements, treatments? How this data is used actually?
Well, we're starting with the B2B2C model. We're actually starting through the clinics. That is why we're starting with a large HMO for clinical validation. Actually, the doctors suggest the patients to use our product. Then they get a link. They do it online at home from their phone, and then both their doctor gets us the report and the woman itself. She can see where she stands. She has a baseline where she is for the first time. She can really see a map of how she's doing on all of the aspects that we test. And then she can also see the improvement where it's not improving, also her physician, and they can walk from there on the next visit. We also have around 20 tools that she gets in an app that you can use daily, can help her work on the lifestyle side of that as well, which has a big importance in perimenopause.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Revital. We have a question from Ido. Ido, please go ahead.
Good presentation, Revital. Question about the path to FDA regulation. Does this require 510 approval? And if so, where are you on that path?
So our vision is on that path, but we are actually starting with a wellness and intake monitoring tool, which does not require FDA at this stage. We don't do anything that is related to the diagnosis. We just do the very thorough intake and also the monitoring tool. The idea is to have enough data in order to go the FDA route there later down the line and become a clinical decision support tool or even a diagnostic tool further on.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Ido. I see there are questions in the chat as well. May I request you to move there? Dr. Patel, one question very quickly, please.
Sure. Femtech wellness and diagnostic tracking apps a lot of times suffer from incredibly high user churn after the initial novelty wears off. What is your strategy for long-term user retention? And do you think you plan to remain direct to consumer, or you're pivoting more towards B2B?
So exactly that's the reason we're going through a B2B2C model, okay? Because we know that in the B2C route, it's a very expensive one and with high churn. That is exactly why we went to clinics, and we see that women need better tools to have a good conversation on this topic specifically with their physicians. Both sides are struggling, and we go in this 10-minute visit that really is designed to fail currently and try to shift the trend there. So I think that the low churn will come exactly from that, because the woman continues with the doctor, and this supports the treatment.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Revital. We need to take more questions in the chat section. Jury members, after each and every presentation, you will see a poll on your screen. Please respond to that. When it comes to scoring sheet, you can respond to the scoring sheet now, or you can fill it up later after the session so that you can focus on Q&A if that's easier for you. The next presentation is from an Italian startup called Peptitech, which is developing advanced compounds for glaucoma and other neurodegenerative diseases. And here we go.
Hi everyone, this is Marco Feligioni. I'm the founder of Peptitech, a company focused on the development of a platform based on first-in-class drugs to contrast neurodegeneration. Our first therapeutic indication would be retinal diseases, and specifically glaucoma. Glutamate excitotoxicity is one of the most persistent and unsolved problems in neuroscience. When glutamate is released in excess, neurons are dying and leading to several CNS diseases, including retinal diseases. Still today, there is no approved disease-modifying therapies that directly target this mechanism. For decades, NMDA receptors inhibitors show promising results in preclinical models, but failed in clinical trials because they block neurotransmission and cause severe side effects. We identified a new intracellular pathway responsible for presynaptic glutamate over-release, in which presynaptic NMDA receptors induced the interaction between JNK2 and syntaxin 1A that controls the toxic glutamate release. We designed and developed a novel cell-permeable peptide which is able to inhibit JNK2 syntaxin 1A interaction, restoring physiological glutamate release without affecting NMDA receptor physiology. Our first indication is retinal neuroprotection, especially glaucoma, in which retinal neurons are dying due to toxic glutamate release. Even today, with hypotonizer drugs, up to 40% of the patients still lose vision in one eye and 16 in both eyes. So there is no neuroprotective drugs on the market so far. Our discovery has been largely validated by our publications, cited by several authors. Our peptide is a potent selective neuroprotective agent that blocks presynaptic excitotoxic loop, and topical delivery is effective and protects cells from death. This positions it as a first-in-class combinatory therapy alongside current high-pressure lowering treatments. The global market of glaucoma and retinal diseases is very high, as well as millions of people that are affected by these diseases. With a total amount of around $700,000 of investment from grants and other investors, our platform has been de-risked in ophthalmology and CNS research, allowing us to identify 3 pillars on which we are working: ophthalmology application, CNS, and intraocular glutamate sensor as biomarkers. Regarding ophthalmology, we are now fundraising up to $800K to start the IND enabling studies and complete non-GMP and non-GLP studies, and EthAum will be part of this round. Then we will complete the preclinical phase and enter in clinical phase, in which we are clearly seeing 2 exit windows in phase clinical 1 and phase clinical 2 proof of concept. The total investment will be 8 to 9 million. PeptiTech is led by a consolidated scientific and VC Baker team with decades of experience in neuropharmacology, ophthalmology and drug development, and dedicated ophthalmology scientific board. Thank you very much, and I'm pleased to take questions.
Thank you. Jury members, please unmute yourself. Marco is ready to respond to your questions. And you may be seeing all on your screen. Anybody? Hi, Marco.
Hello. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, got it.
Okay. So I wanted to ask, what is the clearest evidence, that the approach modifies disease biology rather than only delaying the functional decline or managing downstream consequences as such?
We basically did some in vivo experiments in which we saw that basically the peptide is able to enter in the eyes and able to neuroprotect the retina, and is able to maintain the vision of these animals. So far we are in the preclinical phases.
Thank you, Marco.
Thank you,
Dr. Ghani. Any other question for Marco?
Yeah, I'm curious, Marco, great presentation. You showed a lot of data for the retinal application. Do you have data for the other applications that you listed there, or is it more hypothetical at this point?
Actually, we didn't publish many other data on this other CNS application, but we know. So we have data already produced by CROs as well, that we are able to reduce the seizures in epileptic in vitro model. So in slices in electrical physiology experiments. And we also did some experiments in animals. So we are able to see that there is a neuroprotection of the area involved in the epileptic area. And then we also did some experiments in brain ischemia, and we also see that in that case, we have a reduction of the brain ischemia zone.
Thank you, Marco. Thanks a lot for very clear and precise responses. We'll have to take more questions in the chat section. The next presentation is Belon Technology, which offers medical grade FDA approved wearable solution for sleep test. And here we go. Just a moment.
Hi everyone, I'm Lydia, CEO and co-founder of Belon Technology. Today, we'd like to share our journey from sleep diagnostic to building the continued preventive healthcare platform. How is your sleep last night? Good, fair, or you are not sure? Sleep disorder is a hidden driver of chronic disease, including cardiovascular related like hypertension, stroke, and even diabetes and dementia. Unfortunately, 80% of sleep disorder patients remain undiagnosed. Sleep test is still done in hospital for one night. This model limits access, miss longitudinal physiological insights. Despite a strong correlation between sleep and chronic disease, modern healthcare still focuses mainly on wake time data, leaving sleep time physiologies largely untapped. Belon closed this notional data gap by enabling continuous overnight monitoring and transforming sleep data into health intelligence. We are starting with the 9 billion sleep apnea diagnostic market, but the larger opportunities lies in the longitudinal health data generated through continuous sleep monitoring. This position belongs to expand into treatment optimization, early chronic disease detection, and preventive healthcare, addressing a 50 billion market opportunity. Belon's FDA-cleared sleep diagnostic platform has been deployed nationwide in the US, with reimbursement supported through CPT code and Medicaid. Most home sleep testing devices are either clinically accurate but difficult to scale longitudinally or consumer-friendly without diagnostic value. Belon bridges both worlds. We deliver medical-grade diagnostic in a highly variable form factors, optimized for continued multi-night monitoring. Our platform combines our proprietary wearable hardware and AI stack, protected by more than 20 granted international patents. The platform delivers clinical-grade accuracy with established reimbursement pathway, enabling providers to scale sleep diagnostic efficiently and cost-effectively. Our comfortable, easy-to-use design also enables longitudinal data collection from patients with different comorbidities, creating a strong foundation for early risk detection and preventive healthcare application. Belon platform is already integrated into EHR system and embedded into provider workflows across both diagnosis and treatment. In dental sleep medicine, our workflow has helped reduce treatment timeline from 4 months to 4 weeks, an approach recognized by the AADSM Clinical Research Award and increasingly adopted by dental providers. Built on this clinical, technical, and workflow foundation, Belon is ready to drive broader adoption and expand into decentralized chronic disease management and preventive healthcare. Since 2023, Belon has expanded nationwide across the US with deployment in more than 400 clinics, delivering 300% revenue growth, 90% retention rate, and 66% recurring revenue. Internationally, we have secured regulatory approval in 6 countries and regions and is building strong commercial traction across both the US and Southeast Asia. We are expanding from reimbursable sleep apnea diagnosis into longitudinal health intelligence for chronic disease management, including neurodegenerative, cardiovascular, diabetes, mental health, and gastrointestinal. Our growing longitudinal data set enables the development of AI model for early cardiometabolic risk detection using sleep and autonomic data. We are raising 10 million to scale our platform for longitudinal physiological intelligence, accelerate predictive and preventive healthcare, and capture a 50 billion market opportunity. Sleep is the gateway to continuous physiological intelligence. Join us in building the future together.
Thank you. Oren, I think you have a question. Please go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. How accurate is this data, and are you seeing customers actually using this particular data? My reasoning is this. So if I sleep with this ring, right, there is a part of me that will still somewhat require a doctor to give me some form of insights into the data that I'm actually receiving.
Yeah, this is a very good and valid question. And basically, our device is a medical device that has been cleared by different countries regulatory for diagnosis. So compared with the traditional in-lab testing, it has more than 95% accuracy, sensitivity, and specificity. And that's why with our system, you can be used directly for diagnosis, firstly. And secondly, if you want to monitor the treatment efficacy, together with other chronic disease parameters for the centralized patient care. This is the purpose of our ring. And this how it differentiates with the consumer grade ring, which can maybe just used for flat, you have the risk, but cannot be used for diagnosis nor treatment. And why we get the regulatory approval is because we met the hospital grade accuracy, and also you don't need to perform an other test in hospital after testing within our ring.
Okay.
Thank you. Dr. Patel, please.
Sure. First of all, congratulations on getting to this phase. So because you're entering the Series A world and you're in the growth phase, or you're entering that part, what does your unit economics look like today? How much of your revenue is tied to the hardware sell, and how much of it is actually the recurring use of the software?
Okay. As of today, since the deployment in 2023, about 66% of our revenue is from recurrent income, which is from the service and the software. Yeah, and roughly about 34% is from the hardware.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot. You may be seeing poll on your screen. Please respond to that. Any last question for Bilon, for Lydia? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious how you see revenue scaling. Like, what's your go-to-market motion so that you achieve the next level of scale of revenue?
Okay. Yeah, we are on the way to raise the fund to put more resources into the marketing and sales. As of today, you can see even with 300% of growth in the revenue, we just put about 15% of our overall resources into marketing and sales. But we build very good tractions. And so with the new funding, we target to maybe have almost 8 times to 10 times the marketing effort that we are putting today, such that we can ramp up the growth. Because currently, whenever we have potential opportunities to meet the customer, we close it for 70% to 80% of the business. And that's why, as long as we have our local team in the US, we believe we will be able to grow our revenue even faster.
Thank you. Fantastic, Lydia. Appreciate your time. And if there are more questions, let's take them in the chat section. The next presentation is Fennec Medical, which offers orthopedic AI surgical assistant to enhance implant stability and bone integrity.
Hello, I'm Nadav Cohen, CEO of Fennec Medical. We're developing an AI co-pilot for orthopedic surgeries. Fennec is targeting the 3 massive pillars of orthopedics: hip, knee, and spine. We imagine surgeries as a delicate art, but in orthopedics, the reality is much more intense. To fix an implant into a human bone, surgeons push away all sophisticated technologies and they pick up a hammer and start hammering away. It's a high-energy striking process, and as a result, sometimes bones fracture. Surgeons navigate this fine line relying entirely on subjective feel. They listen to the sound of the hammer and they feel the resistance in their hand. That's pretty much their only gauge. In hip replacement procedures, for inexperienced surgeons, mechanical failure rate can reach up to 20%. These aren't minor issues. We're talking about intraoperative bone fractures, implant loosening, and more, leading to extended hospital stays, complicated revisions, and the immense physical toll on patient. Hip mechanical failure alone cost the healthcare system $2 billion annually. Fennec Medical solves this by replacing subjective feel with objective deterministic data, with detection of near fracture conditions and decision support. We're turning this high-risk art into a predictable science. Based on our team's deep knowledge in vibration, sensing, fracture mechanics, we succeeded where others failed for decades. Our solution is the Fennec Assistant, an AI co-pilot. The system provides real-time detection of near fracture conditions and continuous decision support on how implant insertion is progressing. So how do we do it? The Fennec Assistant is powered by the EchoStem. It's a wireless disposable unit that attaches directly to the surgeon's existing tools, such as a handle or impactor. The EchoStem literally listens via sensors to the bone implant interactions. Crucially, it does not alter the surgeon's workflow. And this enables surgeons to decide confidently on how to proceed and exactly when to stop. We replace the fracture anxiety with clinical certainty, while simultaneously we create a proprietary data set that becomes larger with every surgery. We're partnering with leading surgeons and local distributors to champion our market entry. With MOUs already in place, we're kicking off hospital pilots in 2028, establishing a beachhead in the US and FDA countries first before expanding to the EU. We're leveraging non-diluted IIA matching grants to secure FDA approval by 2028 and to launch commercial sales by 2029. Ultimately, this is a 3.5-year, $8 million path to market. Our team consists of experts in vibrations, real-time AI algorithms, and leading doctors. Our advisors are leading KOLs and experts in the surgical space, fracture mechanics, and business. In 10 years, AI and robotics will drive orthopedic surgery. But for that future to exist, robots need senses, just like humans do. Fennec is the missing link. Our solution is set to assist surgeons of today and is set to enable the robots of tomorrow. Thank you for listening. We are Fennec Medical.
Fantastic. Let's take questions for Nadav, jury members. Amitya, please go ahead.
Thanks for the presentation. My question is, which surgery are you targeting first? And then if anything goes wrong, let's say if there is a false alarm, who carries the clinical responsibility?
So we're starting from hip surgery, total hip arthroplasty. Our device is an agentic device. Not only that, it attaches itself to the tools of the doctor, meaning that the doctor doesn't change his workflow at all. And in theory, he can decide not to use any of the information that it gives along the way. So all the control is with the doctor and it's his or her decisions. Now, what we do help with is two main things. First of all, there is no way to anticipate fracture. Okay, this is something that doctors hone for many, many years, and it's still a guessing game, with some bones more than others. And what we bring to the table is the ability to predict when fracture is imminent. And so we are giving additional information to the doctor that he or she does not have, okay? Apart from that, especially for inexperienced doctors, there's a lot more information that the UI console gives to the doctors along the way, such as impact forces and more. And that's based not only on the sensors that we have inside, but also on a lot of metadata that's been integrated into usable outputs. But this is an agentic device.
Thank you, Nadav. Let's keep answers a bit precise. Vishal, please.
So
given you will work with the hospitals in 2028, any way of knowing whether the technology works?
Sure. First of all, our technology has been validated across synthetic animal bones and also human cadavers. Okay, so the algorithm has been validated, and now we're working on the device itself. We already have MOUs in place with two main hospitals in Israel and in Canada to push the post-market and pre-market clinical tests.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Nadav, for responding to questions. And obviously, we can take more questions in the chat section. The next presentation is Patientory, which offers health data wallet, incentivizing individuals to make healthy choices through their insurance partners. And here.
Good morning. I'm Krista McFarland, founder and CEO of Patientory. Imagine a health insurer trying to understand the complete health profile of a member. Today, that requires integrating data across providers, claim systems, pharmacies, wearables, and third-party vendors. It's expensive, slow, and still produces incomplete information. Patientory solves this problem as the AI infrastructure layer for healthcare. Healthcare will run on AI, but AI is only as powerful as the data feed in it. Patientory provides a trusted, patient-authorized source of health intelligence that gives payers a complete longitudinal view of member health. Healthcare data fragmentation costs payers between $200 and $300 billion annually through duplicate testing, medication non-adherence, delayed diagnosis, and poor chronic disease management. The problem isn't data scarcity. The problem is fragmented infrastructure. Patientory becomes the starting point for an individual's health information. We aggregate multi-source health data into one intelligence layer that helps payers make better decisions. We are not another healthcare application. We are infrastructure. Using FHIR interoperability, blockchain consent management, enterprise security, and AI-driven analytics, we dramatically reduce the cost and complexity of assembling comprehensive member health data. As more members' data enter the platform, our AI becomes smarter. Patients receive personalized care plans and incentives, while payers gain visibility into risk, care gaps, and population health opportunities. We operate an enterprise SaaS model. Health plans and self-insured employers pay recurring per member per month fees through annual contracts ranging from $100,000 to over $2 million. Our success is directly tied to lowering healthcare costs and improving outcomes. While competitors focus on records, engagements, or analytics separately, Patientory combines all three. We provide patient-controlled data access, AI-powered insights, and incentive-driven engagement in one platform designed to generate measurable ROI. We land through pilots, expand into enterprise deployments, and ultimately become embedded infrastructure. This creates multi-year contracts, recurring revenue, and high switching costs. The market is moving rapidly toward interoperability, AI adoption, and value-based care. Health plans are no longer looking for another wellness app. They are looking for infrastructure that powers AI and delivers financial outcomes. We received over $250,000 in investments, each from both AWS and Google Cloud. Our results demonstrate value across health payers like Blue Cross Blue Shield and CMS. Care GLP achieved a 22% improvement in medication adherence and an 18% reduction in obesity-related risk markers. These outcomes translate directly into lower costs and better member engagement. I'm a World Economic Forum tech pioneer, and our team advisors bring deep expertise across healthcare, interoperability, insurance, AI, commercialization, and global expansion. Combined, our ecosystem provides strategic access to payers, employers, providers, and international markets across the US, South Korea, Europe, the Middle East, and Asia Pacific. Healthcare infrastructure businesses scale efficiently. As more payers adopt Patientory as their intelligence layer, revenue compounds through recurring contracts and expanded covered lives. We've already established a Korean entity, advanced insurer partnerships, completed localization, and gained traction through programs such as the government-backed Korea Startup Grand Challenge and insurer engagements, which include DB Insurance and in the U.S. Blue Cross Blue Shield. The expansion is already underway in both the U.S. and Korea. We're raising a $5 million seed to accelerate insurer deployments in the U.S. and South Korea, expand AI-powered chronic disease risk modeling, and convert pilots into long-term commercial contracts. We are backed by more than $1.5 million in pre-seed funding from investors like Blue Cross Blue Shield Massachusetts, RGA Ventures, and Backstage Capital. Healthcare's future will be powered by AI, but AI requires trusted infrastructure. Patientory is building the patient-authorized health intelligence layer that connects fragmented health data, enables better decisions, and improve outcomes while lowering costs. Patientory isn't another healthcare application. We're the AI infrastructure layer powering the future of healthcare. Thank you.
Fantastic. Oren, please, questions for Krista?
Yeah, so Krista, I
Hi.
actually came across your company before in
Oh,
2022, actually. So I want to know what has happened between 2022 and 2026, and why are you guys still raising between now and then?
yeah, I think in 2022, we were just closing up our pre-seed, and we were starting as part of one of the companies in the generator, Prosper Health Accelerator. So since then, we've pretty much launched the application, which we launched about 18 months after that. So it's totally built out, and we received pretty much pilots. We accomplished 2 pilots where I listed the results there. For this, we're pretty much at our close to round it out, and we're focusing on then going into Series A. So we already have committed like Series A investors. For us, it's pretty much getting that runway to close the pilots into commercialization with the large insurers, which can take anywhere from 18 to 20 months. We're at the later stage of that process in order to essentially start to build up our Series A momentum.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Oren. Let's take
Yeah.
next question from Ido. Ido, please.
So, Carissa, you mentioned you received some investment from AWS and Google Cloud. But you didn't mention
For
them
their
among
marketplace.
the invest. Was that actually an investment, or is that cloud credits in kind?
So it wasn't credits. They've actually given us that fund, so to work with one of their premier partners to build into their marketplace as a marketplace solution.
Okay, but they're not one of the investors in the A round beyond that?
They are not a equity investor, so it was non-dilutive funding, as they like to call it when they engage with, when they choose startups to build into their marketplace, it's non-dilutive funding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you. We can take more questions for Krista in the chat section. The next presentation is Cyoctus, which prevents revenue loss for hospitals from coding and documentation errors. And here we go.
Hi, I'm Dr. Varman with Cyoctus AI. Cyoctus AI is addressing a large, growing global problem in healthcare: billing optimization and denial reduction. This is a roughly $500 billion problem in the US and over $1 trillion problem globally. Providers already did the work, documented the care, and delivered the treatment, but too often revenue is lost before the claim ever goes out. In the US, roughly $475 billion in claims are denied every year. Over 80% are considered avoidable, fewer than 65% are reworked, and providers spend more than $25 billion annually processing and fighting denials. This is not just a billing issue, it is a massive healthcare infrastructure problem. To solve this, hospitals need 3 things: a clinically aligned approach, an AI solution that gets both the documentation and claim right, and a business model tied to outcomes. Billing Assist is built around exactly that. It reads the chart, finds revenue gaps, recommends CPT, ICD, HCPS modifiers and billable opportunities, then validates the claim before billing. Early customers and pilot feedback show meaningful impact: $1.2 million in annualized revenue opportunity, reduced documentation-related denials, saved weekly review time, and improved pre-bill turnaround. The pattern is clear: earlier intervention, cleaner claims, and stronger ROI. Our team is built for this problem. As mentioned prior, I'm Dr. Varman, a practicing physician with over a decade experience in healthcare, and I have seen firsthand how billing friction affects providers and systems. My co-founder, Sid Bose, brings 15 plus years in technology, AI, and products across the US and 4 other countries. We are supported by advisors from UNC and Queen Victoria Hospital. We also have a strong key advisor from a recently exited large RCM startup. Our model is outcome-based. Customers use Billing Assist before submission. We help uncover validated revenue opportunities, and Cyoctus earns a share of incremental revenue captured. That lowers upfront customer risk and aligns incentives. We win when providers recover more revenue. We have multiple early customers using the platform, active enterprise prospects, qualified leads, proposals and discussions, and accounts and compliance review. Through VitalOrder, we also gain channels into hospitals across US, UK, and Asia. Competitors prove the market is real. SmarterDX showed the value of pre-bill revenue capture and exited in roughly 3 years. Codematrix focuses on coding automation. Cyoctus is the only one at this time that combines AI chart review, missed revenue capture, and pre-bill denial prevention all in one workflow. Hospitals should not have to choose between finding revenue and protecting it. We are raising a 1.5 million safe, up to 2 million with strategic investors. This round helps us expand deployments, support the large enterprise client deployment in pipeline, and build seed-ready traction. Pre-bill revenue intelligence has already produced venture scale outcomes. Cyoctus AI gives strategic investors early exposure to the next wave of AI-driven revenue integrity for hospitals. Healthcare already did the work. Cyoctus helps make sure they get paid for it. Thank you for listening and feel free to connect with us. Either send us an email or scan the QR code shown. Thank you again.
Fantastic. Vishal, please feel free to ask your questions to Sid or Dr. Verman.
So guys, I'm very happy to see you're taking a clinically aligned approach. My question is, what has been the validation or feedback with the customers in healthcare that you've worked with?
Sid, do you want that one?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much, Vishal, for the question. So based on the work we've done so far with the hospitals, we are actually recovering revenue for them. We have verified, validated, and that revenue has also been recovered. So that's our biggest validation per case. Also, we were able to reduce the denials based on the benchmark the hospital already has. So and it was all done with large US-based hospitals.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Vishal. Dr. Ghani, please. You're on mute. Dr. Asif Ghani, you're on mute. Okay, yeah.
Hi, brilliant presentation. Tell me one thing, when you say that the denials were reduced, by what percentage? I mean, very ballpark figures, would you be able to reduce the denials?
Yeah, so when we started the pilot with the hospital, most hospitals already have a benchmark of how many denials occur because of documentation gaps. And what we've done is, based on when we started work, reduce the based on their existing denial. We are saying implicitly it was because of the documentation, because that's the biggest thing. We identify missions. So we were able to reduce by 30%.
So Sid, tell me one thing. Suppose if the reimbursement improves by 30% because of the accuracy, document accuracy, everything, the healthcare cost is going to go up without, improving any outcomes or anything significantly because we are not looking at the outcome side. So isn't this going to cause trouble for the healthcare sector?
Dr. Verman, could you please respond to that? I think Sid's network is a bit choppy. Dr. Verman.
Yes. So instead of directly with billing, we work with CDI, clinical documentation integrity. So most hospitals and clinics have around a 15% benchmark for how often denials are occurring. These denials are happening sometimes with them already having done the work, but they just didn't capture the proper documentation and proper codes regarding to it. So in our perspective, is not increasing any costs or changing outcomes. It's simply properly attributing payments and revenue to hospitals and providers when they've already done the work. So they may have taken care of a patient who had obesity or malnutrition, but just because it's shown in the chart in labs or objective data, but if it wasn't shown in a note, they wouldn't be able to properly reimburse that. Or maybe an orthopedic surgeon did do a procedure that's typed, didn't type that code in, and because of that, they never would have received the revenue or got denied because the detail was missing. We simply find those elements of what they did, but they just forgot to document or put in the actual clinical chart so that it gets properly attributed. So the outcomes we're hoping and should still stay the same is just preserving the integrity of the charting to billing.
Thank you.
Fantastic. We'll have to take more questions in the chat section. Thanks a lot, all the jury members. The next presentation is from Sarid, who is the CEO of Dragonflow. Dragonflow is an Israeli startup which converts clinical trial protocols into automated interactive point of care workflows. And here we go.
Dragonflow is building the operating system for protocol execution. We transform clinical protocols from static documents that people read into deterministic workflow that actually run. By guiding investigators step by step in real time, we reduce errors, lower operational costs, and accelerate time to revenues. Clinical trial execution is still highly manual. Site teams rely on PDFs, checklists, notebooks, calculators, and disconnected systems, while managing increasingly complex protocols. This creates deviations, delays, rework, and operational risk. In phase 3 trials alone, delays can cost sponsors millions of dollars per day. While EDC and CTMS systems manage clinical data, they don't manage protocol execution during participant visits, leaving live execution fragmented, inconsistent, and error-prone. Our approach is simple: make protocols executable. Dragonflow transforms static protocols into interactive, automated workflows across all devices. The platform guides investigators at the point of care by automating calculation, decision trees, and compliance checks. Instead of catching errors later, Dragonflow prevents deviations in real time while automatically generating an audit-ready trail. Dragonflow blends AI automation with human oversight. Our AI extracts complex protocol text into logical pathways, while human experts validate and approve the logic before deployment. This ensures a safe, compliant, and fully execution workflow that guides site teams in real time. Dragonflow already demonstrated meaningful impact in real clinical environment. In a phase 3 myelofibrosis study with a Vienna-based CRO, Dragonflow cuts a standard 40 minutes workflow down to 9 minutes, a 77% reduction. Across a typical phase 3 trial, the platform drives an estimated 19% in savings, and doing so by accelerating recruitment, eliminating rework, and preventing discrepancies. We already achieved early commercial validation through successful deployment with the same CRO from Vienna, and also by securing our first paying customer, Polar Therapeutics from Switzerland. Together, these milestones validate both market demand and willingness to pay. Clinical trials represent a massive global market with billions spent on execution and compliance. Dragonflow captured this multi-billion-dollar opportunity by eliminating protocol inefficiencies and reducing data integrity costs to unlock significant industry savings. Our business model is simple and scalable: annual per-trial licensing, setup fees, and optional professional services. A typical trial generates about $350,000 over 2 years, creating strong recurring revenue potential. Our vision is to make Dragonflow the operating system for protocol execution. Over the next 3 years, we plan to scale across the US and Europe, integrate with leading clinical platforms, and expand into broader clinical execution markets. Our team combines deep clinical research expertise with decades of enterprise technology experience. The founders have worked together for over 20 years building scalable systems that address real operational challenge in healthcare. Join us in building the opportunity and the operating system for protocol execution. Thank you.
Fantastic. We have Sarid on the call to respond to your questions. Jury members, please feel free to unmute yourself. Sarid? Yeah. Amit, please go ahead.
Hey, Sarid, thanks for the presentation. My question is, who pays you today? Is it like a clinical site or like hospital or someone else who is paying you today?
Yeah, you mean paying us overall, or if we got paid already? Or basically, we're looking at sites, CROs, and sponsors. Overall, the sponsor is paying for this, obviously, but we're looking at 3 separate segments which are having a significant benefit while using Dragonflow. At the moment, we got paid from a sponsor already, and now we're in discussions. We have a real commercial agreement with a sponsor from Switzerland, Polar Therapeutics, as indicated, and we already got paid for the usage of our platform in Switzerland and also in UK.
Oh, thank you, Amit. Any other question for Sarid or Dragonflow?
Yeah, great presentation, Sarid. You demonstrated that you can save time with your protocol. I'm curious if you also have data on improved outcomes or lower variability or anything like that.
Well, we are currently working on it, and now we, aside of what we have achieved with the Vienna trial, with the myelofibrosis, now we are looking at several more trials in dermatology and other sectors in order to observe and to improve the adherence, standardize the execution, and basically measure the right amount of amendments, and that we will basically could save, if you like. And this will come, I believe, with the next several months.
Thank you, Sarid.
Undergoing, yeah.
Let's take more questions in the chat section. The next presentation is from Nukt AI, which offers healthcare-focused agentic AI operating system for intelligent triage and care coordination. And here we go.
Hi, I am Sujit Rautrai, co-founder and CEO of Nukt AI. We are a deep tech AI company headquartered in Dubai's DIFC Innovation Hub, accredited with the Dubai AI license. We are building clinical-grade AI models and agentic systems for healthcare, addressing a $194 billion global healthcare AI market where autonomous intelligence is no longer a nice to have. It is urgently needed. Do you know 30% of patient care drops because of improper triaging? 20 to 30 minutes lost collecting foundational history. 80% of primary consultations are non-critical, yet they consume nearly half of every GP's time. Admin burden, fragmented data, and multilingual barriers further add to this. Current standalone AI models are not equipped to handle the clinical pathways and medical reasoning safely. We built Chikit to solve this from first principles. Chikit AI is a clinical-grade agentic AI platform that handles the full care journey, from multilingual trials at intake through workflow automation, all the way to longitudinal care coordination across hospitals, clinics, and home care. A patient can describe symptoms in their own language. Chikit AI triages accurately, remembers their history across every visit, and autonomously handles non-critical consults, freeing physicians to focus on the cases that truly need them. What makes this defensible is the technology we have built in-house. We developed Quantura, our own quantum-aware ML simulator, which delivers 96% clinical accuracy at 75% lower cost than classical LLMs. We built our own clinical-grade AI models, purpose-built for regulated healthcare. Our agentic OS includes a persistence memory layer, probabilistic causal reasoning, multi-agent orchestration, and enterprise-grade governance, ensuring HIPAA-grade security, federated learning, so patient data never leaves the hospital. We are already in market. Founders funded from day one, we have reached $10,000 of monthly recurring revenue with 15% month-over-month growth rate. Users spend an average of 6 minutes per session, and our LTV to CAC ratio is already at 5 times. We are projecting $500,000 of revenue for this year and scaling it to more than $12 million of revenue by 2028, which is where we are breaking even, and further scaling it to $50 million of revenue by 2030. We also just won the Eureka GCC 5th edition 2026, beating 500 plus startups from 57 countries backed by Gulf Islamic Investments and IIT Bombay. Our GTM is a snowball model. We enter through free POCs with hospitals and clinics. Once data portability and federated learning are embedded, we create deep network lock-in. GTM partners become ecosystem aggregators, pulling in adjacent use cases such as diagnostics, pharma, and home care. We monetize through 3 streams. SaaS subscription, which is at $260 ARPU per month, usage-based inference, and custom AI deployments at $39,000 average contract value, giving us a gross margin of 80% across the board. My co-founder Sumo and I each have 15 plus years in technology, AI, and scaling ventures. Our last company was a fintech in the GCC, still live and processing $15 million in logistics payments every month. Our Chief Research and Development Officer holds 9 US patents across quantum computing, AI, and blockchain. Behind us is a team of 20 plus AI engineers, researchers, and data scientists. This is a deep tech and execution mode that takes years to replicate. We are raising a $3 million of pre-series A to transform our current momentum into market leadership. Our $450,000 of founder seed has already built the core agentic OS, ran pilots, and delivered a working quantum prototype. This round goes aggressively to fund our GTM, accelerate our research and development of quantum pipelines, and scale the product for enterprise commercialization in SaaS model. Our financial model points to a 2030 exit enterprise value of approximately $465 million. Healthcare AI is moving fast. The window to build the infrastructure layer with clinical grade intelligence and real technology mode is right now. Join us in building it. Thank you.
Thank you. Jury members, any questions for Sujit? Amit, did you have a question? Please go ahead.
Yes, thanks for the presentation. My question is which segment you see the biggest traction? Is it lead generation, CRM, where you see the biggest traction?
I didn't get your question. You're asking which segment we are targeting towards?
So basically, potentially you are creating this AI agents for different sections. Maybe it could be for CRM automation, maybe for healthcare trials.
No, yeah. So healthcare is the focus. So what our clients are healthcare providers from hospitals to clinics and individual doctors who are practicing, and they are the ones who are right now using it to intake the patients. So that is where the technology is at right now.
Okay.
Thank you, Amit. I believe you were looking at different material, but anyway, thanks a lot for the question. Any other question for Sujit or for Nukt AI?
So I'll just want to add to what Sujit just mentioned. Amit, so our core product is on the triaging, and that is what we are offering to the hospitals and the clinics. Yes, there are some clinics or hospitals which come up with their own requirement of AI implementation that might be required, which is for handling the patient calls, maybe, right? So a voice agent. So that is a one-off discussion that we have with the hospitals or the clinics. That is not the core offering as of now for us.
Okay. I was thinking from the hospital perspective, and hence that was the question. Okay.
Yeah. So that is a one-off discussion that we might have basis the requirement that comes up in our discussions with the prospective clients.
Okay.
So creating a voice agent or having some AI agent which will help them in their hospital operations apart from triaging, those are separate discussions. That is not part of the core product offering that we have as part of Chikit AI.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Sumo, for additional clarification. We can take one last question for Nukt AI. Okay. We still have probably a few seconds, but yeah, the next presentation is HealthPro.IT. It's an Indonesian company which offers AI workforce solution for efficient hospital operations and planning. If you have more questions for any other startup, please feel free to use chat section. And now we are playing video for Health Pro.
Hi everyone, my name is Randy, co-founder and CEO of HealthPro, based in Indonesia. HealthPro is an end-to-end operating system for managing and scaling the healthcare workforce. Healthcare facilities face three recurring problems. First one, operation are still manual, spreadsheet, WhatsApp, even pen and paper. Second one, everything becomes last minute, scheduling, replacement, compliance. Last but not least, admin workloads is heavy, so leaders lack of real-time visibility. The market is growing fast, and workforce complexity is rising. Facilities need a system that can scale operation and make every shift auditable. This is no longer optional. So here we are, HealthPro is the one engine for end-to-end workforce operation. We are doing verification, assignment, SOP, and also reporting and audit trial. With HealthPro, facilities move from legacy spreadsheet to fully digital end-to-end workflow, from planning to execution and also reporting. We are B2B. Our client is healthcare facilities. They pay us monthly through our HR as service model. We charge 5 up to 10% workforce management fee from their payroll, 25 up to 40% flexible staffing transaction fee. Facilities get ROI through lower operating costs, more unlock capacity, and also reduce admin time for clinical leaders and also HR. Over the last 2 years, we have processed $1 million GMV with 2x year-on-year growth, 50 facilities with 6,000 shifts handled per month, and 98% of them repeat rate. And also we have 12,000 verified workforce. We implementing workforce automation now. And next, we will add AI matching and also demand prediction. This is let us scale our shift volume and also revenue exponentially without adding headcount linearly. And last year, we found our AHA expansion. Using the same verified operation engine, we also can serve ESG/CSR focused enterprise and program that need compliance and outcome reporting, delivered as ESG as a service. Now, with the same HealthPro OS, we are expanding from healthcare facilities with HR as a service, and also now we have non-health enterprise with ESG program with ESG as a service. Our starting TAM in healthcare is $40 billion, and now it expands further as we expand to non-health enterprise with ESG program. We target 5% of SAM to reaching an annualized $100 million GMV in 5 years. The growth is balanced from between recurring HR as a service expansion, including we have LOI, and also growing enterprise ESG as a service pipeline. In total, we have $4 million more. We started with flexible healthcare staffing only. Now, with expansion into full HR as a service and additional ESG as a service, we are on track to reach $700,000 monthly GMV within 12 months. I lead scale and execution. Vika, my COO, she is a registered nurse, bring deep clinical operation expertise. With team of 10 across medical, tech, and also HR, we are built to execute and grow HealthPro. Now, to accelerate the growth, we are raising $700,000 seed round to reach $4 million annual GMV within 12 months. We will get there by increasing average shift price, executing new contract, and also increasing GMV per client. We have the traction, the technology, and also the team. So please join us in building the digital backbone of healthcare across Asia. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yep, Ido, please go ahead. Questions for Randy?
So Andy, thanks for the presentation. Could you repeat what you said about current traction, not the 700K that you think you get, but the current traction? You went over that pretty quickly.
Pardon?
Randy, Ido is trying to understand what is the current traction that
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you for the question. So our current session, currently we are $75,000 GMV in a monthly basis. And the plans, because we have a client and then we have a ESG SGSR service in our current pipeline also, it will be easiest for us to reach our target $700,000 in the 12 month.
Thank you, Randy. Any additional question for Randy, Health Pro? Okay, you may be seeing poll on your screen. Please respond to that. These were all the 9 presentations. Now I would request our jury members to really talk about probably 1 or 2 startups or 3 startups that stood out from their perspective. And if I may start with Ido first, because I see him on the screen. Ido, any startup that stood out from your perspective? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, a couple that stood out for me. I liked Cyactus AI. I think I'm generally a fan of those types of applications which provide more automation and pre-billing type solutions. It might sound not as sexy as some of the solutions that we saw that solve particular diseases, but this is, from an investor's perspective, I thought that was very well thought out. And Markable, I think, addresses a problem that is often overlooked. It's part of a systemic lack of attention to women's health and so on. And I think this is a solution that has been a long time coming.
Fantastic. So Markable and Cyoctus from your perspective, Ido. Thanks a lot for your feedback. David, could you please go next? David Apple.
Sure. I thought they were all great presentations, first of all. I like the format, and congrats to everybody. The one that stood out to me, but I'm a little biased because I made an investment in a similar space, is Dragonflow. I think that the big opportunity there is to show that you improve the outcome or the accuracy and reliability of clinical trials. I'm also biased because I've been part of clinical trials that had to be redone because they weren't done properly. And so I think that that's where real money is, if you can demonstrate that. And I suspect that you will be able to demonstrate that. I think that's really exciting. And I thought Revital was also, yeah, Markable was also very, very interesting. But yeah, that's what stood out to me. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, David. So Dragonflow and Markable, these are the 2 companies that stood out from your perspective. Really appreciate that. Oren, please.
Sure. So Bellon Technology stood out to me, and I'm kind of biased because I've done so many startups in the data space, on the commerce space, and enterprise. And I believe the most important thing for those guys is to find someone who has the ability to do enterprise sales, and I think that would massively accelerate what they're doing. And I think if they can focus a little bit more on realizing that the biggest value they provide is actually the data to the actual doctor itself, that it can make predictive and preventative intelligence decisions from that, I think that would actually catapult the company to where it needs to be.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Oren. So Belong Technology from your perspective. Thank you. May I request Dr. Patel or Dr. Asif Ghani to go next, please? Yeah, Dr. Patel, please.
Yeah, sure, I'll go. First of all, I think kudos to you, Pankaj, on selecting really good startups. They're actually all really good. Okay. I think from my end, Health Pro, what they're able to do with a little money is quite incredible. Dragonflow being bootstrapped and what they're doing in that space is incredible. Both show tremendous grit, what I initially had said from the founders. Can you just imagine what they can do with a little bit more money? Right. And so those 2 really stood out.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Dr. Patel. So Health Pro and Dragonflow from your perspective. Thank you. Dr. Ghani, please.
Hey, hi. I think, all the presentations were great. But for me, I think Peptide Tech, Marco, he is the one because peptides are upcoming very strongly. Right. And then they've done only glaucoma at this point in time, and the entire neurodegenerative spectrum is pending. So there's a lot to do in that space. And I think that is very much achievable with what they are doing, and there's a lot to do in that space. So I think PeptiTech.
So PeptiTech, from your perspective, Dr. Ghani, because you see a lot of upside with the pipeline that they have. Fantastic. Thanks a lot. Hugh, please.
Yeah, I really like Health Pro. Long time ago, I've worked with hospital on staff efficiency, so I'm a little biased there. But I also really like that there is revenue already. It's working. People are paying for it.
Right.
It's a scale up, so it's quite interesting. Dragonflow also seems interesting. Also, that's a field I know a little bit less. But those efficiency tool leveraging AI is really have potential here to relieve the pressure on repetitive action. That's really where we're going to see efficiency and productivity.
Fantastic. So you mentioned Health Pro and Dragonflow. Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Hugh. I see that Cody is having some issue with his connectivity. So we'll probably take his feedback later. Tanya, please go ahead.
I think all presentations were great, but the one which stood out to me was PeptiTech. I think there is a huge market potential there with the aging population. I also like Markable, maybe because I'm a woman and this is something what I'm concerned as well. And I like Balloon Technology.
Okay, so PeptiTech, Markable, and Belong from your perspective. I think Cody mentioned Health Pro because of the kind of efficient scaling that they have done so far. I think these are all the feedback and obviously all the presentations for today, but really appreciate all the startups for coming up today and presenting all the value prop, solution, differentiation, everything within just 4 minutes long presentation. That's incredibly difficult. We as audience may, ask questions easily, may pass on comments, but again, doing this presentation in 4 minutes is extremely, extremely difficult. Thanks a lot for all the jury members for showing up, for asking some difficult questions, some easy questions to the founders. I think that's extremely important. And obviously we need to keep making connection outside this event to make sure that we can keep supporting these founders with their future endeavors. We can find opportunities to collaborate and support each other, and again, make the healthcare affordable, accessible, and efficient for billions globally. Thank you everybody for your time today. It has been absolute pleasure to have you in this session, and I hope that we can create more partnership opportunities with each other. Thank you everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Thank you everybody.